Well, I'm starting to get a little befuddled with this. Maybe I just should have known better than to take on another Ford. uh, I got fuel pump working. The fuel pump relay, I've got that working, and the fuel pump's running. I've tried hooking up the. I bought one of these pressure testers. I hooked it up the way it appeared you would hook it up. Didn't really come with any kind of instructions, but it didn't do anything. Didn't show any pressure. So I'm kind of befuddled with it. Yeah, I might be about ready to put a for sale sign on here. I'm not sure yet. I'll get back with you. I'll let you know where this goes. Yeah, I'm about ready to sell a Ford truck. It might be smart to say sometimes I ain't that bright, especially when it comes to Fords. I was all ready to get rid of this thing a while ago. I was mad at it, and it's not that. I tell you why I was mad at it. I mean, I actually figured it out while I was thinking about it. I worked on this a lot yesterday, and I felt like I had it ready to crank, and I went to crank it and the battery was weak. So I decided to plug it into my battery tender overnight, and I was thinking I'd get up and come down here in the morning, start her up, and she'd run great. And that expectation caused me to be. So, as I was saying, I'm not necessarily the smartest guy on the block. Yesterday, I worked on this truck, put those two fuel pumps in that little center pot, whatever that thing is, on it, and I felt like I was ready to crank it. I figured out which wire I had, the straight wire to get the pump to run and all this other stuff. So I came down here this morning and gave her a try. I was going to do it yesterday, but it was the end of the day and the battery had run down and I needed to let it charge up, so I let it charge up all night. Well, I came down here this morning and gave her a try, and I could hear that the pumps were running, but she wouldn't build up enough pressure to run. I got frustrated and I said, well, I'm done with this thing. I'm going to sell this thing. I've had it with this thing. I ain't working on this thing anymore and all that stuff, you know. And I said something like that to Don. He's my new buddy who's a Ford person. And he called me up and we talked a little while. And between him and what I saw on the internet when I started looking at it, I did not realize there was a third fuel pump on this truck. And the way... I said Doug. The way Doug explained it to me is that the two fuel pumps that are in the tank, they just serve the fuel up out of the tank, which goes up to another fuel pump that's on the inside of the frame up there close to the front wheels, and that's your high pressure pump. Well, I had a whole fuel pump that I hadn't changed on this thing, and plus there's a big canister oil filter under there that I hadn't changed. I didn't even know if this thing had I figured it must have a filter somewhere, but I hadn't seen one, but it turns out there is one. So I settled down a little bit, and I got to thinking, and so I ordered some more parts. And sort of rebuilt my hesitation about going any further on this old truck. And so I was thinking, well, the pump is supposed to come Monday, which is 3 days from now, and the filter is supposed to come sometime about that time. So I thought, well, I can go underneath this today and pressure wash the frame, the old pump, and everything where everything's going to go, where I'm going to be doing the work, and I get that out of the way. And it's a hot day, so having the water running out here won't be bad. So I'm going to do that. People hang around me long enough know that I'm kind of an unguided missile when it comes to doing stuff, and sometimes I do stuff that don't make sense, and sometimes I don't make sense out of anything, even anyway. So I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I'm going to bring that pressure washer out here and crawl under the truck and pressure wash inside of the frame. Probably do both sides, and then we'll see what happens after that. Love y'all. Appreciate you, whether you like it or not. See ya. So that's the part that I was talking about that needs to be changed right here. Is this? There's a fuel pump inside of here, and then there's a filter up in here. And of course, it's just like before. It's got all this mud caked up on it and dirt and stuff like that. So it don't look like it'd be too terribly hard to change either one of them. Although I'm not exactly sure how this one's going to come out, but we'll know. We'll know after we do it for a little bit. So I'm going to set y'all over here somewhere. I might do something like I did the other day, just stick you to the frame, set you up in a way that you can see me. How are we going to do that? I don't know. Bend this camera around some kind of way or the other. Maybe like this. That's looking right up at the vehicle there. So I get my little pressure washer. We'll squirt that baby over the joy. Doug called me this morning. I think we talked for about 2 hours. He's a talkative feller, and I'm a pretty good listener. So yeah, we had a good time. Kind of fun to have somebody to talk to about car stuff. Alrighty then, I might put one of them crooked ends on this thing. I was talking about having one, and I could use it to squirt up under the cab body. See this dirt that's here and here. I gotta show you this thing I got in here that attaches right onto my pressure washer. That could be used to clean up under there. We'll go get it and I'll put it on. Oh, the joy. So these is what I was talking about. See, I got a doohickey that'll go up like that. Which would be awesome, stick under there and let that squirt up under the cab. I don't think that's too hard to change. Yeah, see, I think what I can do is just snap this off and snap this on. Yeah, and then snap this onto the end of that. Oh, isn't that easy? Neat. See, I can just stick that right up under there. Oh yes. So I'm gonna get my cardboard out. I don't think I'm gonna need to lay down to do this. And we can just start right over here. Can you see the truck okay? That little piece of something on your lens there. Where is the truck? It's right there, right? Sometimes I can't see without my glasses. Oh, the joy. That's not so easy on my back. for some reason. All that bending over and stuff. I'm beginning to notice that more and more the older I get. Oh, the joy. You know, I got some places up under the hood that I might want to squirt out too. I was looking over in there with Doug the other day, and he was talking about I had so much old pine straw and stuff down in along the firewall, and there's a lot of wiring in there, and he'd say, that ain't good for it, you need to get rid of that. So yeah, maybe I'll just do that while I'm out here. Flip-flop this hood up and see if we can blow out some old age here. Oh, the joy. Cutworm, if you're watching this, hey buddy. One lonely farmer, waving wire. Good to see y'all. Appreciate you. Let's see now. Don't want to get no water in this here. Guess I ought to take this back around yonder. So I'll call that good for now. And we'll see what happens. Car show tomorrow, but I don't think I'm going to go. I just don't feel. It's down in Athens, which is a goodly far. It's a goodly far. I hate to leave the home place here. Very peaceful and calm, and not a big crowd of folks around. So I may skip the car show tomorrow and wait till we have one a little closer to home. I got plenty of car videos, I think, to do me a while. Okay, been nice talking to you. Hope you're all having a good day. If you're not, I hope that somebody talks you off the cliff like Doug did today. See ya. You know, one of the things I thought about after this morning's little emotional blow up I had over the truck not cranking is that I found that generally if you keep your expectations low, you won't be disappointed. It's just like when I was working this truck. I'm in no hurry about it, got all the time in the world, you know, got parts coming or they're here or something like that. And really the only reason I got frustrated is because I expected it to crank. And see, it wasn't the truck or even the situation that upset me. It was my own expectations didn't meet up to my expectations. If I'd have had lower expectations and not expected it to crank, I wouldn't have been disappointed. But because I thought it was gonna, then I was aggravated when it didn't. And see, y'all have to keep in mind, I've never owned a Ford like this one. Well, I shouldn't say that. I probably owned one back in, this was how many years ago was this? 30 years ago maybe. Because I drove my dad's home. He had one like this, but it wasn't as pretty as this. He had a tan one, which tan isn't a very sexy color. And I drove it home, and there was a young fella I knew that was, he was in the process. He bought that Rambler that I had for 20 years. And I could tell that I didn't think it was going to survive being owned by him. And he really liked my truck. Of course, it was low mileage, it was real clean, it was a nice truck. So I said, well, I'll swap you the truck for that Rambler. So I did. Within about 3 months' time, that truck was totaled. It was in a junkyard. I went to look at it, and windows had broke out, and the windshield was broke, and it didn't run. And the guy in the junkyard said, you can have it back for $300, and I didn't want it back because there wasn't enough left of it to be fixable, in my opinion. So yeah, I own one, but I didn't work on it, and I really hadn't worked on this much. In fact, I haven't worked on an awful lot of Fords. I did have the 55 Ford, but that was a different animal than this one. But I've been learning a lot, and it helps to have a friend who's into these kind of cars, and I got a few, like Cutworm knows about them, and One Lonely Farmer knows about them. We had a conversation on the phone the other day, and this guy Doug knows about them, and he's talking about going drag racing. He said he needs a trailer to get his one of his Mustangs to the drag strip, and I said, well, I got a trailer, and maybe we could haul that thing over there and do some racing, get some good video out of it. So that might be in the works. So the next thing I got on my list on the Studebaker, I'm going to put that windlace up in it. I'd probably talked about that 2 or 3 times. So I might do that tomorrow. The car show is 10 o'clock in Athens. I'd have to leave here about 9. Like I said, it's about an hour and a half drive down there. You know, it's so peaceful here. I was talking to Doug on the phone this morning. He said he could hear the birds singing in the background. I don't have my hearing aids in, so I can't necessarily hear them, but it was cool to know that they were singing loud enough where he could hear them all the way wherever he's at, you know, over the phone. So I thought that was kind of cool. So, all right, I suppose I can stop talking now and mosey back up to the house and maybe make a few more videos and stuff. But I just want to say I appreciate y'all. There's been some folks lately that's told me they was done with me because they didn't like something I said, and you know, so that means that those of y'all that ain't done with me yet, I guess y'all are made out of ruggeder stuff because you're still around, bless your hearts. Not just anybody can put up with me, I'm just saying. You ask Honey Babe, she'll tell you. I'm a challenge. I'm a wonder to behold. Bless my heart.